Hello and welcome to this bouncy text tutorial. Now I know you can get this on YouTube and other places, but something that I struggled with is it doesn't explain to you how it works. Like when you put the values in, why does it respond like it responds? Why does the text animate like it animates? Which meant that I could never really retain what I was doing, and I had to keep going back and watching that tutorial anytime that I wanted to do this bouncy text animation tutorial. So now I'm redoing it for you so I can explain what's happening, and hopefully you'll never have to watch another bouncy text tutorial because you will understand it and therefore know how to do it. Okay, so let's take a look at this layer here. So I've just got a simple text layer and I'm going to tool that down, and within it we have 3 positions. Here are the keyframes that we've spaced out. We've got an opacity, and then we've also got this mask here. And all of these are added through this animate tool. I haven't actually used any of the transform values at all. And the reason why I do that is so that afterwards, well, 1, you can add a number of positions, and 2, I can move this text now wherever I want, and it's not going to affect any of the keyframes. And I absolutely love that. So let's get started. I'm going to make another comp. Create some text, whatever I want to type. There we go. Close it up. All right, I'm going to try and do this quickly while also explaining so that you don't get too bored and you can get through this. All right, so the first thing we want to do is choose the first position of our text. We're going to mask this out anyway eventually, so no one's going to see the text. So that's basically where we're going to put that. And then I'm going to click animate and position. And the first position, animate, so let's just position 1. We want to set to its highest value, like the highest it's going to go in the first movement. So for ease of explanation, I'm going to make this minus 200, and as you can see, we're going to shoot up to the top. That's where I want the highest point to go. And to be able to make this a really natural looking animation, I'm going to use the range selector offset to animate it. So at first, the very first keyframe, it's going to be minus 100%. That's the most you can go, you see. And then it's going to stay exactly where it is, which is perfect. And then at 1 second, we'll go up to 100%, and that's the highest we can go there. And look, nothing's happened, which is perfectly expected. If I press play, you see how it now jumps up into the top. So it's taking it to that position, and then it's coming all the way back down again, which looks absolutely awful. Okay, and we don't want that. What we want is for the text to go up there and stay up there, but we also want it to look nice. We don't want it to look like that. So the way we do that is by using our shape. And as you can see, it says square, and it's literally looks square when it goes up. So what if we, and let me put that in the middle so you can see what happens here. What if we go ramp down? You see now we get this nice ramp happening. And then if we go ease high 100, what it's doing is giving us a nice curve. So it's easing it even more into that position. So now we have text that eases beautifully in a curved shape up to the top. And that's perfect. All right, but that's actually not the end of the tutorial because you want to know how to bounce it. So I'm going to click on position 1, and I'm going to Control D to duplicate, and now I've got a position 2, which looks dodgy there, but don't worry, we're going to fix that. So what we want to do now is bring the text down to its next position. Remember, it's bouncing up and coming down, so we want to bring it down to its next position. And the way I work that out is in the positive of this number, and we're going to halve it. So in this case, this is minus 200, so we'll make this 100. So it's in the positive and half that number. And now if we watch that back, very little has changed. And one of the reasons is because these keyframes need to be offset a bit. So I'm going to click, hold down Alt and use my arrow key 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to move the keyframes 5 frames. And then we can watch that again. And that's a lot better. But it can actually be better. Okay, so watch there. Now, if we actually change this ramp down from, if we change the ease high to 50 and the ease low to 50, then we get an even nicer bounce here. You see, just a nicer, more natural shape in that bounce. Super cool. All right, so next step is to duplicate our position again. So Control D, I'm going to twirl that down. And now to get this number right, we basically just want to lift it a little bit, but it does depend how much bounce you want. So I usually use like 1/5 of this number to get the small bounce. And remember, we're going in the negative now because we want to lift it again. So I'm going to go -20, and you see it lifts it up. And now again, I'm just going to press U, and I want to move these keyframes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if we watch this back, you see, get this super cool bounce and so chill. I really, really like this. That's awesome. And we can even select all of those and F9 to ease that, just to give it a little bit more, I don't know, funky vibeness. I don't know. Anyway, right. So what I'm going to do now is move it back to the beginning, and I want to create my mask so the text can't be seen at first. So I'm going to just mask that out, and I think I've made that mask a little bit too big, so I'm just going to drop that there. And I like to have a bit of a feather on the mask so that it's not such a hard edge. Let's feather that. Not too much, maybe 15. We lift it out. What's that looking like? Perfect. And obviously, as you can see, we've got the mask the wrong way around because we're seeing the text when we don't want to and not seeing it when we do want to. So all we have to do is change the mask from add to subtract, and Bob's your auntie. There we go. How cool is that? Then if you want to add an extra little bit of pizzazz, you can add the opacity. So I'm going to select text, make sure none of these are selected, and I'm going to go opacity. We'll set this value, it's at 100, and I can actually move this keyframe forward without dragging it. I can move it an exact amount. If I hold Shift and Alt and use my arrow, my right arrow, I can actually move it 10 frames at a time. So I think I'll move it only 20, and then set the first keyframe at 0. So let's see what this looks like. Yeah, cool. Actually, I think I might move that back another 10. So it's just a tiny bit. Yes, I like that a lot. Okay, cool. Now I just want to show you 2 quick things that are super cool, and I think you'll love me forever if you didn't know this. Actually, sorry, I have to change this name. I always have to name things, otherwise I lose track of what they are. But what you can do is you select these 4 animating properties, and we go to Animation, Save Animation Preset, and we type bounce text into. You can see I've done this a few times. Then we have a preset that we can apply to any text we want. Let me show you. So if I start a new comp 2, put in some text, Bob's your auntie, close it down. Now all I have to do is go Animation, Apply Animation Preset, choose the one I just made, and look at that. There it is. So you can't see it in the beginning because remember we set that opacity value. Now all you have to do is go and add the mask if you like it. And you can use that throughout your whole animation, so it's super quick and easy.